Good afternoon. I'm delighted you've joined me today. It's a weekend day as the sun sets. It's beautiful. Nice and bright still. The sun is setting. You might hear some atmospheric noises while we're recording this because there's a small fire over there in the distance, maybe 5 minutes drive from here. Nothing threatening. And the helicopters are absolutely brilliant here, the way the helicopters work. You know the ones I'm talking about. They've got a bag underneath. They swoop up the water from the sea and drop it on the fire and get them out quite quick. Thank goodness it's been quite a few years since the last time we had a major fire here. And even then, they're controlled. I've never heard of dozens of houses being burnt down, etc., etc. So fingers crossed, everything's okay with the fire over there. My video chat today might be a little controversial. It's about a slimming drug, better say type 2 diabetes drug called OZEMPIC. Okay, now I know immediately once I say the word OZEMPIC, some of you are going, oh no, gee, hold on a second now, that's got terrible side effects. There's people dying all over the world, they're lying on the streets dying. That's rubbish, absolutely rubbish. Now, scientists now and then come up with a treatment that's end up being even more popular than the original treatment it was. And that's the same. Well, think about it. Think about, for example, let's think of it. Which one here? Viagra. Viagra. Now, Viagra was originally for high blood pressure and now used, as you know, for erectile dysfunction. And, you know that. So it was originally, and now it's that. And exactly the same with OZEMPIC. It was originally for type 2 diabetes and hugely successful. Let me just put it in there again. Hugely successful worldwide. OZEMPIC has been treating diabetes, type 2 diabetes, for quite a few years. So before you all start jumping around, now out there, I know when COVID was here, and you know that I was a huge supporter of the COVID vaccine, all of a sudden people who were, let's say yesterday was a house painter, nothing wrong with that, or a gardener, or out of work, they all became medical scientists on their sofas. So they all knew about more than the doctors knew. And anything that they hear, what the doctors would say about the COVID vaccine, oh no, that was called a trumpet. It's fake, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake. Then we heard about people dying all over the world. Really? Now, I live on the Costa del Sol. I live in Marbella. Well, to be precise, in Benavides. Do you know something? The whole COVID thing, I never heard of one person dying of the COVID vaccine. One teacher, I believe, died, but when examined, there was a huge underlying medical problem with that teacher. One. And then everybody knows someone who knows someone who knows someone. It was all rubbish. Yes, people do get very ill from side effects from certain medication. And when you open the box of the medication and you read, if you bother to read the instructions, it warns you not to take it if you got A, B, C, or D. And then when you do take it and you get ill, you blame the medical science on it. It's rubbish. OZEMPIC has been a lifesaver for so many people. But I never really heard of it really much until I met someone in Marbella, a beautiful family, who happens to work with OZEMPIC in one of the directors. And I sat down with him, started chatting to him about it, because there was a sort of a negativity about it. And that came from a young, well, not so young, not young at all, Sharon Osbourne. She came on television, looked like death's door. She looked like almost a horror movie. And she made a public statement that she's been taking the OZEMPIC. It's a syringe, and you have to have a prescription. So the minute they saw her, the anti-vaxxers, oh, you know them, they're everywhere. Oh, Jesus, look at her. Don't ever touch that stuff again. Well, that's rubbish. What about all the millions that take it for type 2 diabetes? You get a prescription from your doctor, and your doctor will not give it if he thinks you're going to die with it. But there are side effects, and they're warned about side effects. But a lot of people are buying, because they're very difficult to get now, because there's such a huge demand, billions around the world. you've got to, people who are buying online, you know, one of these special price things, don't. It's dangerous. Go to your doctor, tell your doctor what you want it for, or he'll tell you if you've got diabetes. But like the Viagra for high blood pressure, and now it's working for erectile dysfunction, excuse me. You know, I get a bit tongue-tied at times. Excuse the pun. Now it's working for weight loss, and hugely successful. You know, obesity is something which can really be termed in many, many cases as some sort of a mental problem. It can be extremely depressing. It can lead people to suicide. And they say, thank God for OZEMPIC. Thank God for OZEMPIC, because they lose weight. But honestly, I start talking to someone, this is the absolute truth, about when I met this fabulous family and we got together and we had a great time. They're a young family, hugely successful. He tells me they have 65,000 staff. And before you say anything, I'm not getting paid. You're not getting paid for this. I'm not an ambassador for OZEMPIC, and I don't take OZEMPIC. If I was overweight, obese, I certainly would. But no, stop there. So I'm in a friend's house for dinner very shortly after meeting my friend. And over dinner, I was saying it to him, over dinner at a friend's house. I was saying it to him that who I'd met and etc. And he said, Maurice, I've been on Ozempic for years. I said, gee, really? People don't go out and talk, hey, look at me, don't I look great? I'm on a prescribed drug for it. And really, I couldn't believe it. The other day, I was having lunch with a friend of myself and Wendy's, who I've known for years, and I was talking like I'm talking now. And he said, Maurice, I've been on Ozempic for years. Then I found out that one of my family members has been on Ozempic. And these are just the people I meet, bumping into. That's, you know, they have, what he told me, he cannot make enough of it. So I decided, which is the wind is blowing me hair, I decided to go into the pharmacy in Guadalmina and ask, do they have Ozempic? And the girl said, oh, listen, we have a waiting list here. We can't get enough of it. We have a waiting list here of nearly 100 persons waiting for, and we're lucky if we get 10 because there's such a shortage worldwide. He explained to me they cannot make enough of it. Now, don't think that people want to be skinny. Look, if you want an example of what an Ozempic person looks like, you know, these Hollywood stars, etc., never mind Sharon Osbourne, because think about it, the Osbournes. Think about what she's been on most of her life and then mixing it with the Ozempic. But if you want to take a proper ambassador, if you want, or an example of the amazing work that Ozempic does and someone who's been all her life, I'm not going to say obese, but I would say quite heavy, is Oprah Winfrey. I saw her the other day with Kamala Harris, and she looks amazing. People, I asked, by the way, my friend, has he ever had any side effects? He said once. He said, I was so pleased the way it's working, I wanted to speed it up even more. So I asked my doctor, I said, can I increase the dosage? And he said, yes, you can if you want, but you could get a side effect from it. And he did. And he went back to the original dosage, he's fine. People get side effects from medicine. Let me give you an example. I was taking something which I don't have, thank God, prostate cancer, but you can get, as you get older, slightly swollen, which does affect the flow. Do you get me? The flow. So I'm just saying to my surgeon, I said, I hear there's a pill for that. Oh, yes, he said, there is. If you want it, you can have it. So I said, okay. So I took the pill. Oh, gee, it works all right. Anyway, I got up the next morning. Oh, no, I took it for 3. On the third day, I got up and I honestly was as dizzy as hell. As dizzy as hell. I thought it was going to collapse. So I immediately opened the box of pills and took out the instructions. And looking down there, dizziness is one of the side effects. And the problem was that I didn't really listen to what I was told. You're meant to take that pill in the morning with food. Well, I took it when I went to bed on practically an empty stomach. So your doctor will tell you and instruct you. If you trust your doctor, they're not going to put you on Ozempic and give you a prescription if they think it's going to give you a serious side effect. Because there's a lot of reasons you can't take it. In fact, if you watch any of the American TV news channels, which I'm watching at the moment, as you know, there's plenty of ads there for Ozempic, but it then does say not to take it if you, I think it's type 1 diabetes, you shouldn't take it. Stuff like, I'm not sure. I'd be getting in trouble now for saying what you shouldn't take. Find out for yourself by your doctor. But it is a miracle. And it is a miracle for people who are obese, who are fighting obesity, and are having mental problems with it. They can now lose the weight. You know, if you're not overweight, and I'm slightly over, we're all slightly overweight, but I'm talking about, okay, obese. This can lead to deep depression. It's like a mental illness. And therefore, people that, since I've been talking about this, who have been on Ozempic and lost the weight, they think it's a miracle. Now, the other thing, of course, people say, oh, you know, now you have to wait. Do you remember with the COVID vaccine? Oh, you have to wait 2 years. Screw that. It saved millions and millions of people worldwide. So the anti-vaxxers out there, I know are going to have a go at me. I know that. I know it. They have an auntie who knows a person, who knows a gardener who danced with a woman who had taken Ozempic and he fell into a pit and he died. Nothing wrong with his heart and he shouldn't have been taking it or something like that. But honestly, don't buy it online. Don't buy it online. Go to your doctor if you're overweight and you want to go on to Ozempic. He'll know all your symptoms. He has a record of it. Oh, there's a helicopter. He has a record of all. And then take it. Do you know they were talking about, do you remember Bill Gates? Oh, you know with the COVID. Oh, there's 2 helicopters. Bill Gates with the COVID. Okay, you remember that? He's going to inject a thing into your arm and he's going to control your life. Do you remember? Do you remember that? The other day I was reading something that Elon Musk, the guy's slightly rich fellow, of course. Excuse that noise. Nothing I can do about it. But they were talking about how well and chiseled he looked. They were doing a photograph before and after. Well, he's on a type, the same whatever, the same mixture as Ozempic. You see? Now, he's not stupid, that man. And there's plenty. Well, the man that I originally saw at the dinner party is a phenomenally successful businessman. He wouldn't be taking it if he thought it was going to kill him. His doctor examined him and he found out about blood pressure was okay or whatever that had to be examined. He said, okay, you're okay for Ozempic. So please, don't spread gossip. You know, find out the facts. Find out the facts. And the facts are Ozempic is a lifesaver in many ways to type 2 diabetics. And for people who are obese, and we're talking about a serious problem there, a mental problem, for a lot of them with depression, etc., it is a lifeline. Anyway, thanks for joining me, and I'll speak to you shortly. Very shortly, my little clicker must have been affected by the helicopter going over. We'll try it again. Bye-bye.